Hello, hello, and welcome back to another NFL video. So today, man, we are continuing with the series that I started recently where I'm recapping every single NFL team season, starting off with the teams that missed the playoffs and eventually finishing this off with the team that won the Super Bowl. Trying to do all these in under 10 minutes. The first one took about like 13, I think, because I'm a Seahawks fan. I had, a little more ranting to do. But today we're talking about the Arizona Cardinals, man. And, listen, where do I start with the Cardinals? Let me start off with what I thought about the Cardinals going into the season. I was very high. Well, let me not say that. I picked the Cardinals as one of my teams who I thought was going to improve the most going into the season. And I feel like that's accurate. I mean, I got the numbers right here for you. Okay, so listen. The Cardinals, they went 4-13 last year. That was not, you're not mishearing me. 4-13. And this year, they went 8-9. So that's a 4-win improvement from last year this year. And that's one of the biggest improvements across the entire NFL. So I'm like, they should be happy with that. Okay. They scored 70 more points than they did the year before. Think about that, 70 more points than last season. That's impressive. They allow 71 less points, or no, so that's 76 less points than they did the year prior as well. So offensively and defensively, major improvements from the Cardinals from 2023 to 2024. And the overall point differential, if you do the math in your head, 146 better than last year. Last year, they were minus 125. This year, they were plus 21. So Jonathan Gannon is doing a good job so far. And just, year one to year two, you expect like major improvements across the board, and he has delivered in that aspect. So that's what I think about the Cardinals last year going to this year. But I don't think the Cardinals fans have that same sort of feeling that I have. I'm seeing a lot of negativity from Cardinals fans. I don't think they have the right to be this upset just because they missed the playoffs. Okay, the Cardinals play in a really difficult division. Okay, especially when the Rams and the Seahawks are both playing really good football like they did this year. It's going to be tough for the Cardinals to get past, but they even swept the 49ers. So I don't, I just, I I don't think the Cardinals fans have the right to be as upset as they are. And maybe a little part of it is listen, the Cardinals started off, they were on a 4 game win streak early in the season. And there was a point in time where they got to be 6-4. So maybe if you're a delusional Cardinals fan, you're like, oh well, maybe we have a chance to win the division and to make the playoffs. Maybe that was realistic. But then they lost to the Seahawks, the Vikings, the Seahawks again, and their season pretty much, just fell down the drain. Okay, they were 6-4 at a point. They finished 8-9, so they go what 2-5 down the stretch. That's not very good, but the end result is 8 wins, which I just feel like you got to be happy with that. At the end of the day, let's talk about some of the personnel here. They got really good production out of a couple of guys on the offensive side. That's Trey McBride, breakout season. James Conner, arguably the best season of his career, and then Marvin Harrison Jr., standout player as a rookie. Those are 3 guys on offense. You should have a lot of hope moving forward for them and their potential. Kyler, he played the full season. I don't think he looked amazing, but the biggest point is that he's healthy, right? And they should be happy with that. And he got a season under his belt of just healthy playing football, which is what he needed. Um, as far as the defense is concerned, you know, I like their defense more the further back you go. And what I mean by that is I like their secondary. Well, I like a couple of players in their secondary. Garrett Williams, Sean Murphy Bunting, Buda Baker. Those are some really good players. I feel like they could play anywhere, right? So I like those guys. The linebacking room, the only guy that really sticks out to me is Zaven Collins. And then the defensive line is the weakest part, arguably, of this entire team. I mean, they didn't have a single player who had more than 5 sacks. The team leader was Zaven Collins, the linebacker with 5 sacks. So my point being, they need major improvements on this defensive line. Most likely through the draft in the first round. Okay. Um, and on top of that, though, their offensive line, I feel like it got better. You got Paris Johnson there at left tackle. So I feel like overall, like I said, with Jonathan Gannon, this team took a major step forward from 2023 to 2024. And on top of that, they had 5 losses by single digits. So think about that, 8 wins and then 5 single digit losses. This team is only a few moves away from being a 10-win team, which, I mean, that's kind of surprising, in my opinion, from how they look terrible in 2023. And I know Kyler only played half the year, but they were pretty much at the bottom of the barrel. So to go from that to 10 wins in 2 years would be pretty impressive by my assumptions here. So give them an edge rusher in the first round or a defensive tackle, I think will drastically improve the defensive side of the ball. But here's the thing. They got a lot of young guys, right, on rookie contracts. Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, Paris Johnson, Garrett Williams. I mean, so they don't have many stars on this team, right, who are making a lot of money. You got Kyler, you got Buda Baker, but they're not paying a whole lot of money for a lot of guys, right? So I feel like the Cardinals are in a very advantageous position this offseason to make a lot of moves. Like if if they see themselves the way I see them, they might be thinking, if we go and we spend a lot of money to get this guy or this guy in free agency, let's just say hypothetically, they think they need a receiver. Let's go get T. Higgins or let's go get Chris Godwin. And they make a big splash move that really could net them in the end, like a whole extra win or two wins. So I think they should be a team that's very aggressive in free agency. And I don't think they're far away. That's the point that I'm getting at here. They have a lot of young guys who can get better. So they have a lot of internal improvement, I think, but they can also snatch a big name player or two. And I, I'm not saying the Cardinals are dark horses and anything like that, but I think the Cardinals, because they had what? They had like an 11 win season a couple years ago. That was kind of a fluke to me. It was kind of a random assortment of players, on offense and defense. I feel like this could be a real natural growth for them, and it could be their most, I would say it'd be their best season in a long time if they were to go 10-7 or 11-6 next year, which is what I think would absolutely happen. That's very reasonable in my opinion. They definitely got to get better in their division. I know I said they swept the Niners, but that is a historically weak 49ers team. I feel like if like the Cardinals, you got to find a way to go 4-2, and it is hard for anybody to go 4-2 in the NFC West division. But you can't be getting swept by the Seahawks. As a Seahawks fan, I want us to continue sweeping the Cardinals. But if you're a Cardinals fan, obviously, you can't get swept by anybody, and you got to sweep somebody. That getting to 4 wins in your division is the key to making the playoffs. In my opinion, I guess. You got to win at least 4 games in your division if you want to be a really good team. And here's the thing about Kyler. Um, he was healthy this year. He didn't play great. He was, I don't know what I'd say. I mean, I have, I don't think I'm a Kyler Murray hater, but he's just not a guy that moves the needle for me. It's like you got a lot of really good quarterbacks at the top, and nobody mentions Kyler Murray in that conversation, even though I mean, he got drafted a while ago. Like he's like what 5, 6 years into his career. At this point in time, I feel like he is what he is. I don't feel like there's another level for Kyler Murray to reach. And if that's the case, I don't really think the Cardinals are ever going to be contenders with him at the helm. Listen, if they put a stacked roster around him, then sure. I mean, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl, right? So I mean, I'm not saying, but like, I don't think Kyler is a guy who's going to elevate the talent around him, and we're going to see him lead a team into a deep playoff run, or just the playoffs in general, where it's like, man, the Cardinals they don't really got a lot of talent. That Kyler Murray, I just don't really see that happening. So I do think they're going to be one of those teams where they just have to hit a lot in the draft, and they're going to really have to get some good free agents to put around Kyler if they want any hopes of making a deep playoff run. But like I said, I'm happy with well, as a Seahawks fan, I'm not happy. But if I was a Cardinals, I'm trying to be as objective as possible when I do these recaps. If I was a Cardinals fan, I'd be very happy with the direction of the team. And a lot of eyes should be on them this offseason because if they make the right moves, they should be poised for their best season in a long time, in my opinion. So that's going to be it for this video, man. Leave a like if you enjoyed. We will be doing the Niners in the next video. So stay tuned for that. Keep an eye out. And thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.